So let's hear then from Amy. Amy is founder of Another Way, an environmental charity that focuses on empowering individuals and communities to change the way they live and work together to be more environmentally friendly. Amy has also been voted Cumbria Woman of the Year last year at the young age of just 17. So Amy, we're really looking forward to hearing you. It's always good to hear you. Great to have you with us. Over to you, Amy.
Thank you, Graham. Hi everyone, so I'm Amy, I'm 17 years old, and I've always loved the natural world and especially our oceans. All my life I've wanted to be a marine biologist, and when I learned about the threats that our oceans are facing, it made me really frightened that what I wanted to study would no longer be here when I grew up to do so. So I started writing articles about marine conservation. I started phoning companies to ask them to change their unsustainable ways. And I started writing to my MP about policy issues. A few years later, I challenged my own family to go plastic free, which was really difficult, but something that we did achieve over the space of about 9 months. And it was by doing something in my own life to change my own way of life that it made me realise how important it is for us all to take responsibility for our own actions. I was asking the government to put a tax on plastic bags while I was producing huge amounts of plastic waste myself through my own lifestyle. The 12 million tonnes of plastic that enter our oceans every year originate from the plastic that we use and discard as consumers. The toothbrush that you used 10 years ago, or the wrapper that your biscuit came in. And how can we be a carbon neutral country if we all want to fly on holiday every year and eat meat every day? Globally, we produce enough food to feed the world's population 11 times over, and yet millions of people go hungry. The richest 10% of the world's population are responsible for half of the total lifestyle-based emissions. So climate change is a consequence of a wider problem in society, a problem which ultimately comes down to people living without compassion. Inequality, the health crisis, biodiversity loss, soil degradation, climate change, all stem from the massively increasing consumerism of Western society, as well as a tendency for us all to live in the present. Maybe we need to slow down and realise that life is more about how much we can gain in the moment. It's about appreciating the beauty and the diversity that we have all around us, and about preserving that for future generations. It is about sharing and giving, not just taking. We all have the power to make decisions about what we buy and how we live. And that can come alongside petitioning the government and businesses to make change too, to make it easier for us to make those sustainable choices. We need a systems change that starts with all of us reducing our consumption and making choices based on compassion towards those we share our planet with, whether in business, at home, or in school. We can all start by looking at our own lives, and I think that's really empowering for us as young people. We can do everything we can do to ensure we are living sustainable, conscious lifestyles. We can reduce the amount of single-use plastic we buy, going to the supermarkets with our own containers and bags and buying loose produce. We can make our own snacks, avoiding packaging and palm oil. We can refuse to fly on holiday. We can buy second-hand and sustainable clothes, reduce the amount of unnecessary stuff we buy, use public transport, volunteer or donate to plant trees, and petition our government and companies. The list goes on and on. And it's not just about the small things anymore. Reversing the climate crisis is going to take significant change in the way all of us live. It is so important to inspire those around us to change too. We have seen how quickly a virus can travel around the human population. Well, imagine if every time a person came into contact with another, they spread kindness or compassion instead. If one person spread a message to 10 people in one day, and the next day those 10 people each spread that message to 10 more, then it would only take 10 days for the whole world to have heard that message. So no individual is ever too small or insignificant to make a difference. In my own school, I started a marine conservation campaign called Devotion to Ocean, meeting with the management team to reduce single-use plastics, running talks and awareness sessions, and running an eco shop for charity. I also shared my personal experiences changing my own lifestyle over Instagram to help and inspire other people to do the same. Although a few remarkable individuals supported me the whole way, I had very little support in my school. My peers were more interested in themselves and their popularity, and although my teachers supported me verbally, they did not actively. I felt like I was hitting myself against a wall. This was before Blue Planet 2, before the IPCC report or school strikes, and I didn't know any other campaigners. I felt completely alone. Being the one person who cares so strongly about something is a really difficult state, and trying tirelessly to change people who don't want to change is emotionally straining. When I started giving talks and awareness sessions to other schools and other community groups across Cumbria, it really empowered me and it helped me to realize how many people are out there striving for good. We are never alone. My advice is that you start with small steps in your own life, in your own school, in your own community, and then progress to starting a campaign in your school or joining an existing eco group. If you find that you're stressed or upset about your work, then find something else that feels right for you, whether that's making your school single-use plastic free, running a community event, talking to other people about how they can change their own lives, or petitioning government or starting a school strike. Spend time in nature and outdoors to remember why you are fighting. Remember that you are never alone. I founded Another Way in January last year because I wanted to inspire people to change their own lives instead of waiting for someone else to change for us. We don't have to accept the way things happen now. If rainforests are being lost at a rate of 50 football fields a minute, if we have lost 60% of the world's wildlife in the last 50 years, if much of Australia is on fire and UK villages and towns are being frequently battered by severe weather and flooding, then we obviously have to find another way to live. And that is the equal responsibility of all of us, no matter our age, gender, or ethnicity. Through Another Way, I have taken my talks and awareness sessions to over 4,000 people from schools, community groups, conferences. I've spoken on podcasts and on the media. We have also set up our zero waste shop in Penrith last year, which has helped the community to reduce the amount of waste they produce. And that was so successful that the second shop opened in Kendal last year. All the profits go into the charity. I have produced leaflets containing concise, clear information on how people can actually change their habits, with leading scientists, including Professor Mike Berners-Lee, and our patron, deep sea biologist, Dr. Alan Jamieson, who has found plastic in the deepest points of every single ocean. Our Planet Pledge campaign inspires people to make 3 pledges of behavioural change, post them on social media, and tag 3 friends to do the same. And we have just launched our 30 Steps to Another Way campaign, where we post an idea every week on how people can live more environmentally friendly lifestyles. And that applies to everyone, and they can do that at their own pace. In November last year, we planted 1,700 trees with local school children and farmers as part of the nature-friendly farming project that's been going on in Matterdale, led by Ullswater Catchment Management CIC. We got a grant from the Tree Council to plant all those trees, and it was so powerful to see children hands-on with conservation and preserving our environment for their future. We've also planted 1,000 trees so far this year, and that's something that I hope we can continue in the future. And that has led to my appointment as DEFRA's International Ambassador of the Year of Plant Health, although sadly many of the events have been cancelled this year. On the 31st of August last year, 600 people climbed up the Wainwright Mountains to support the launch of Another Way, with many different creative ideas, as well as signing pledges to the planet on the summit. and the event was recognised by the UN. It really brought people together who were striving for good in our community of Cumbria and beyond. I think it's so powerful that young people can see what's happening in their own communities by taking part in events such as these. From my own experience in school, I think it is so important that young people can share resources and experience and meet like-minded, passionate campaigners. Realising that we are not alone is critical in making change, and that's why I'm currently developing my Another Way Ambassador programme. This is going to be a platform for young people to connect and share ideas. You can just have to sign up on the Another Way website, and then you get access to a series of resources such as event ideas, assembly plans, head teacher statements, or press release advice, loads of different advice from young people around the country who are doing similar things. We also have access to a chat forum so people can share and upload their own ideas and their own experiences in their community. We are planning to launch the programme in September, so it'll be fantastic to welcome you all then. All you have to do is sign up on our website, and you can follow us on social media in the meantime, or join our Another Way Ambassador Facebook page. Sometimes I am overwhelmed by the apathy and seeming lack of care of modern society. But I do see hope. As long as there are people who care, then there is hope. Each one of us has the power to change our own life and that of everyone around us. We can solve climate change, and we can solve the ecological crisis, and we can solve so many issues at the same time. But each one of us has to act now and united, and believe that our actions do make a difference. So for every 50 football fields of rainforest that are lost, for every half a degree in temperature rise, for every decade of sea level rise, for every acre of land that is converted to grazing land, or for every plastic bottle that finds its way into the stomach of a whale, do twice as much good, 20 times as much good. And if we all do that every single day of our lives, then perhaps we can pay back some of what we owe our beautiful blue planet, because together we can find another way. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening and for being here today.
Well, thank you so much, Amy. Always an inspiration to hear you speak.